Welcome to the Mindset for Success show, where we will talk about success in different ways and give you practical tips to achieve and cultivate success in every area of your life. Come, join us and learn from our guests what success is all about. For more information, follow us at... Welcome to the Mindset for Success show. I'm Carolina Ayala, your host. I'm a holistic life coach, and many times people ask me, what is the purpose of life, right? And each one of us have a different purpose. The most important thing is to understand that many times we use general concepts like, I want to be happy, I want to be financially free, I want to have a beautiful life. Well, what does that mean? It has a different meaning for each one of us. So it's really important for you to evaluate those concepts and make them yours. How do you do that? You start making a list of how that will look like in your day-to-day activities. If you want to be happy, what does that mean for you? In that sense, every time that you say, I want to be happy, that's one of my purposes in life, you really understand what does that mean. Because otherwise, you are catching an idea, but you don't really know what it looks like. So it's really difficult for you to achieve it because you don't know how it looks like. So it's really important to understand what you want to be able to achieve it. And that's part of being successful. Today, to talk more about this, we have a special guest. We have Coach Jenn with us. Hello, welcome.
Good morning, thank you.
Thank you for being here with us today.
Tell us
tell us a little bit more about your background, who you are, what you do, so people can know more about you.
Okay, perfect. So, like Carolina mentioned, I am Coach Jenn. I am originally from Miami, Florida. So, just to kind of give you a little bit of background about myself, I have been in the realm of education for 17 years. I started my journey of energy healing about, I want to say 8 years ago. So in a nutshell, I am a woman who educates, who guides people on their journey of healing. I have a program. I do a lot of different things, but mostly I am on a mission to help women especially increase their income and eliminate burnout. That is my life's goal. And I have been able to work on my mission through the collaboration of education as well as holistic wellness.
Excellent. And tell me a little bit more about your program. What is the name of your program and how people can get there if they are interested? Woman. Only ladies, right?
Only women. And I focus on educators, but it is open to any woman. And the name of my program is More Income, Less Burnout. And so if you wanted to join my program, you can always just sign up for my email list by going to thesixfigureteacher.com.
Excellent, very good. So we have all the information. So tell me a little bit more, because this show is about what is success for you. So tell me your concept. When I say, are you successful? What comes into your mind?
Resounding yes, right?
Yes, I know.
And I consider success, someone who is successful is someone who is happy. Mm-hmm. Right? And of course, the educator in me has an acronym for what happiness is, right?
Good.
So, your relationships are harmonious, right? Good. You have harmonious relationships. You are aligned with God, force, universe, whatever you call that higher.
Good.
You are prosperous, not only when it comes to money, when it comes to health, when it comes to love, joy, time, all of it. And I debate about the second piece. It depends on who my audience is, right? So purposeful, either purposeful, productive, nonetheless, one of those people. And the last one for why is authentically you. It is super important to be here in this world and identify with who you are and are comfortable with who you are. So for me, when it comes to success, that is a person who truly and genuinely at their core happy, right? Not faking happiness, growing up on social media, but at their core happy.
I love it because it's what I was telling before, right? That sometimes we say concepts, but we don't really understand what does that mean for us. And I love the way that you describe happiness, happy. You know, I'm gonna borrow that one. I love it. And So when we talk about happiness, you said something about not fake happiness. So how can we achieve real happiness from your point of view?
So it's a lot, but it's a combination of getting real with your reality and your experience. Before I started my journey of healing, I was in a very low and a dark place. And it was one day that I just said, you know what, this can't be life, right? I have to figure it out. I'm not waking up every day just to go to work and come home. There has to be more to life. And I feel like people do work on a surface level, right? And it's like, okay, I'm gonna kind of eat healthy. I'm gonna kind of work out. I'm gonna kind of meditate and pray. But to really, really be happy, you have to start to do the inner work. It is super important. As someone who believes in past lives, I believe our past lives have a role in our current experience. And we don't know a lot of the times what we did in our past life. And that stuff carries over until we heal and do the inner work that it is. Because at the end of the day, I believe our experience here on this earth is to do nothing but get better. Right? So what does that mean exactly? To be more like God, right?
Okay.
And what does that look like? That is compassion. That is forgiveness. That is love. Not love just for the people that we know personally. Have love for strangers, right? And for us to authentically be happy, we have to do the inner work and go within to figure out what needs to be cleaned out to make way of the blessings and all the abundance that God has.
Excellent. You do the following question that I was going to ask. You already answered, so that's really good because I want to say what does that mean. But that's really good. So in reality, happiness comes from within, correct? That's what you're trying to say. And that's the important work that we need to keep working on, is to find that happiness from within so you can radiate it out with your values that are the image of God. That's what you're trying to say, right? More or less.
Yes.
Okay, good. I understand. Now, when in this time, it's so easy to try to lean into the outside to be happy. What do you do to come back and say, no, this is my happiness, I have to cherish this, I'm responsible for my happiness? Any tip, any resource that you use?
So one first thing was that I started to do a lot of work when it comes to self-love. I didn't realize that over the years, I really wasn't valuing and honoring myself in the way that God in itself is honoring me. So recognizing that once you master self-love, like the floodgate of abundance and wealth and health and all that stuff comes in. So one thing that really did help me is meditation, right? Our spiritual teacher, Master Choa, has a meditation called Meditation on Twin Hearts. And that meditation in itself has completely helped transform my life. If you are struggling with self-love, you're going to be struggling in life. That's just the reality of it all. So if you meditate and start off with just 5 minutes a day, right? You put yourself in a place where you quiet your mind. I tell people all the time who are new to meditation, prayer is the way that we talk to God, and meditation is the way that God talks to us. Yeah. So the more time we spend with Him, the more we'll get rid of all the, the barriers and all the self-hate, all the loathing, all the stuff that we just, for whatever reason, we experience. But meditation has been critical in my journey of transformation.
Excellent. And for me too, meditation is a part of my life, and I really like what you said about meditation being listening to God, like the response. Because sometimes when you interact with people and you tell them, well, what about meditation? The first thought for me is like, no, I cannot be quiet. I don't know how to meditate, because they expect meditation to be silence, dark. And in reality, at least for me, it's a download of energy, because it's the answer of all your prayers. You start getting ideas and you start getting visualization. You say, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. And then you start getting that information from within, right? Yeah. So amazing, because that also clarifies that topic of, I don't know how to meditate. I'm not good at meditating. That's not for me, right? So what will be your answer for those kind of people that say that? And they say, I already tried. I tried a couple of times and that's not for me.
My response would be, well, you are the best candidate for it, right? Like the people that don't think they need it are the ones that needed it. But it's important to try different types of meditation.
Yes.
Because I've tried meditation for over 15 years and it didn't stick until I found my niche, right? And I tell people all the time, one of my favorite quotes is, the teacher will appear when the student is ready, right? So if you put yourself in a space where you humbly really want to transform and really want to see a change, God is going to work all the pieces out to align your teacher with your experience. So I tell people all the time, one of my best friends, she's an emergency room doctor, and she fights me tooth and nail. I can't meditate, I don't have time. And I'm like, well, you really, really need to meditate, right? Being in those environments, hospitals, schools, depending on where we work, has a direct impact on our auras, right? So meditation, another perspective is a spiritual shower, right? So if we take a physical shower every single day, we got to be taking a spiritual shower every single day. So my advice to someone who is struggling with meditation is just push through it, and you will get to a place where you can quiet your mind and start to download that information from source.
Excellent. And I love the example of the shower, because that's true. We forget that we also need to clean ourselves in the regular basis. So if you do it like a shower, it's just a routine, you just do it. No big fuss about it, you just go and do it, right? So same thing with the spiritual aspect. Excellent. So also you said that to be receptive, right? And I think that to be receptive also is part of being able to have a different perception of things, because sometimes we look at things the way that we've been raised, the way that we've been trained by your career or anything. So our perception is kind of like, like this. So it's really important always to be open and receptive to new things. And that's one of those is meditation, right? Very good. So that being said, this is a part of the show where we play a game. Are you ready? Do you want to play a game? Yes?
Absolutely.
Excellent. So the game is called What Do You See? Now that we're talking about being receptive and different perceptions, they are going to show us a picture, and we are going to say what we see. That's it.
Okay.
Very good. So here we go.
What do you see?
It's coming? Yes. Let's see.
Today we will play What Do You See? A simple game of awareness. I will show you a picture and just tell me what you see.
Okay, here we go. And like a frog, maybe?
I'm saying it looks like a toad.
What do I see there?
I feel like it's two girls, right?
Two girls like in the garden, right?
Yeah.
This is like a kid looking out, like a window maybe or something. Like a little kid with a bow. And
I see a doggy.
a doggy? Yes. A puppy. Maybe like two branches of a tree or something like that. A chicken, definitely.
But I also see a woman's mouth.
Like
it's a
yes,
woman's mouth.
yes. And an old lady looking down.
I see a little girl looking to the side.
Oh, okay. That's good. Like somebody playing the guitar, something like
And
that.
I saw two old people.
Oh, okay. A hen?
It's a dove.
A hen like this.
You see a hand, I see a bird. Somebody playing an instrument.
I see like a face of a lady, like Marilyn Monroe. I don't know why that keeps coming to my mind.
Playing. What do you see?
Oh, very good. So thank you very much for being a good sport and playing. So tell me, let's comment about this game. So how do you find it?
I like it because it's an instant snapshot of the different perceptions that we have.
Exactly.
Right? Like it's like no question. It's that we have different perceptions, and that's like a snapshot of how different we are.
And in reality, that's what happens in life. Sometimes it's not what is happening, it's your perception of what is happening, because maybe it's a memory or it's how you can really, what you can really see. And I noticed that in some of them we see different things, right? So, and that's okay too, right? It's not right or wrong, it's different perceptions, correct? Excellent. Excellent. And that's part of life, and that's part of what you work a lot with your clients at coaching, right? That perception of life have to change to be able to have an internal change that will manifest outside.
Exactly.
Excellent. Very good. So now let's take a short commercial break, and when we come back, more with Coach Jenn. Todo Bello Balloons is a business that was born out of a passion for creating unique and beautiful balloon designs, including balloon bouquets, balloon arches, balloon columns, and more. We specialize in creating unique and beautiful balloon designs that bring your dreams into reality. We believe that balloons have the power to bring people together and create lasting memories, and we are honored to be part of that experience. Contact us and we will bring happiness to your celebrations with our balloons. You've been watching the Mindset for Success show. Now, back to your host, Carolina Ayala. Welcome back to Mindset for Success. Today we are having a conversation with Coach Jenn. So Jenn, tell me something. When we talk about success, do you have any habit, any routine that help you to get there?
Absolutely. So what works for me is getting very clear on my priorities. As someone that is still an educator, life coach, business coach, like I wear a lot of different hats. And because I operate at such a high level in anything that I do, it can be a bit daunting. Because you're trying, when you operate in a spirit of excellence, you try to operate in a spirit of excellence in everything, right? And that can get a little difficult. So one thing that I always do every 3 months, right? So every quarter, I will sit down and what's the focus for these next 3 months? Because the focus changes. Some it's business, some it's education, sometimes it's relationships, so the focus changes at times.
Okay.
So getting super laser focused on what your priorities are is one thing that helps, right? So you get your priorities. So boom, let's say these next 3 months, I'm focusing on my business growth. So then I create an outline of what that looks like, the steps that I need to take to get from my current reality to my preferred reality. And then once you have your roadmap, then you just put in the actual steps that need to, that you need to take. And then making sure that you have people around you that are experts or geniuses in areas that you fall short. Right? So for instance, I am a spiritual healer, but I always lean on my spiritual coach, right? Because I know there are certain areas that I'm not an expert at. So instead of me wasting my time on an area that's outside of my zone of genius, I make sure I lock arms with someone who has my shortcomings in their zone of genius.
Excellent. It seems like one step, but you do a lot of things. First, the most important is what is your priority? And I think that a lot of people have a challenge with that most of the times, because we live in such a fast-paced environment that sometimes you don't even know what is your priority. So you are in survival mode. So what do you do to understand what is your priority for those 3 months? How is your process to get there?
So, of course, first thing is the downloads that I get through my meditation, right? Like we say that, but we really do mean it, right? So spending that time with God to get the clarity. Because there has been seasons where I thought this was my focus, and through my meditation, God was like, that's not it, right? So just really leaning in to God and my soul to get clarity, because at the end of the day, I don't look for information outside of me, right? So, but that doesn't mean I don't take information from people, because I want to clear that up, right? So when you are in alignment, God is going to strategically put the pieces that you need around
Yes.
you, right? So outside of me asking God and then waiting for him to send the messengers, that's pretty much how I decide what I should focus on and what feels right, right? Like we have to start to listen to our body. It's not coincidental that someone can call your phone and now your stomach hurts,
Yeah.
right? Or you get
Exactly.
antsy, or you get so just listening to your body to see, because if it feels right within, then 9 out of 10 times it is right.
Excellent. Thank you very much for all that information. I think that is super helpful. And one thing that you said there, that is the priorities will change. And we need to be flexible about it, because sometimes, it's like, no, but this is my priority. I'm supposed to do this, but all the signs are telling you to go in another way, but you are like, no, this is my priority. So I really appreciate what you explained, because is that ability that this is my priority, but I'm flexible too. It depends what is happening. I have the ability to choose and to adjust. So that's amazing. So then after you have your priority, you say, okay, I make an outline of how this will look like for me, right? It's kind of setting your goals, correct?
Correct.
And then once you have your goals, then you go smaller, right? Like what I'm supposed to do to get there.
Yep.
Okay, so that's kind of the goal setting for you. That's what is helping you to be successful. And once you have the small things that you need to do, right? Your activities, how you make sure that those will get accomplished?
So I always, every single year, I'm looking for the perfect agenda, the perfect calendar, right? The perfect book to sort my life, and I never find it, right? Like I never find it. I never get what I want. So I created like my own Excel spreadsheet, right?
Excellent.
So I have an Excel spreadsheet, and for people who are like, "Oh my goodness, I don't know Excel," you can do this in Microsoft Word. It doesn't matter what platform. But I have an Excel spreadsheet that accounts for every single minute of the day. Because if you're anything like me, if it's not in my calendar, it is not a thing.
It's not happening.
Right?
Yeah, I'm like that too.
Right? Right. So I make sure that I have in my calendar everything that I need to do. So for instance, my program, I abbreviated MILB, right? More income, less burnout. So that is on my calendar every single, well, not, I don't work on it every single day, but usually 3-4 times out the week, I have a block of time that I make sure I sit down, I work for 25 minutes, stop the timer, break for 5 minutes. Another 25 minutes straight, timer, break for 5 minutes. And I just knock out all the tasks that I have to do. Because I know for me, once I put it in my calendar, it is a thing that I will most likely commit to.
Yeah. So in short, the calendar is one of your keys to success, because once you have it there, you know that it's part of your plan, you know that it's important for you, and you just make it happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's very good. That's very good. So the invitation is to try, use the calendar and see how it goes. Energetically speaking, I always explain to my clients is that when you say, this is really important for me, I invite them to go back and look the couple of past weeks, their calendar. Is that you said that is so important for you somewhere in the calendar? They say no. Okay, so that's not important for you. Yeah,
Right.
Because if it's important for you, it will be there, and nobody will make you not do it. Like, if you have kids, you have to pick up the kids. No matter what is happening, you are picking up your kids because that's your responsibility, and it's there, and that cannot be changed no matter what. So same thing has to be with other priorities in your life. So try it. It's amazing. At the beginning, it's a little bit like, it's a self-check, because sometimes you say yes, and then you say, no, I'm not really doing what I said that I'm going to do. But every day is a new opportunity to start, correct?
Right.
Yeah, very good. Awesome. So let's go to more. What about if somebody is looking for more information, say, look, what book can you recommend, or something that helped me to move forward into this line of thinking to be able to be successful? What would you say?
So one of my favorite books is Ask and It Is Given. And this is by Abraham Hicks, so Abraham Hicks is a name that Esther Hicks essentially gave her spiritual teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Esther Hicks is also one of my spiritual teachers. And what I love about this book is it doesn't matter what walk of life you come from. It doesn't matter where you are currently in your life. This will change your life.
Yes.
Absolutely. Just having the book in your presence, the energy of the book is so positive and so happy. What I also love about the book, it's broken up into two parts. So the first half of the book is a lot of information. If you don't know about Abraham Hicks, their main mission in life is all how to use the law of attraction. That's essentially the premise of Abraham Hicks. But what I love about the back half of the book, there are 22 processes that help us increase our vibration. So if you're frustrated about whatever, if you're angry about whatever, there are 22 different processes that you can choose from that will help you shift your energy.
So when you say about process, is what? Is a repetition, is an affirmation, is a, walk us a little bit through that.
Okay, so it's a little bit different. So there's one thing, and I don't remember the name of the process, but let's say you're frustrated with someone, right? Someone has annoyed you. There's a process in the book that tells you to take a piece of paper and write all the great things about this person, right? So, and I know it's like, okay, Jen, but I'm mad, right?
Yeah, exactly. How I'm gonna get there, because I totally right now I'm feeling the opposite.
Right, but that's the point of it all. That even in the midst of the low frequency, that you basically pull yourself out of that space.
You can shift.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. There's another process that brings in abundance. So the suggestion is to put $100 bill in your wallet and like go to a mall or something and spend that $100 bill energetically as many times as you can. Right. So energetically, you spent $10,000 in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. So
the universe doesn't know the difference between what's actually happening in life and what's not, right? Because it's all energetic. Yeah. So there's just a bunch of different processes, like depending on what you need, that kind of helps you. But that helps you shift your energy. Because the goal of life in general, keep your frequency as high as possible. That is the goal of life.
Yeah, because in that frequency is where you attract the manifestation of your dreams, right?
Right.
Yeah, excellent. Oh, I read that book already, but you remind me of all the tools, so I'm gonna go back and check it out, because it's true. And there are different tools that you can do, let's say on your way home or in many other things, because it's a lot of mental effort creating that energy about what you really want. Excellent. So we are getting close to the end of the show. I would like to ask you a final advice for those people who are in the process of becoming more successful. What will you say to them?
My final piece of advice is to just choose you, right? Like every single day, choose you. And what does that mean? So that means whatever is in alignment with you experiencing joy, with you experiencing happiness, is what you need to do, and not to give up on yourself. I know we have our own timelines, right? So like, I want to be a millionaire at 25. Well, God is like, you're not going to be responsible at 25, right? So choosing you, never giving up, right? If you have a goal that is going to not only help you, but impact the world, you have to see it through. You have to see it through. And just trust that God has forgiven you, even if you haven't forgiven. And you have a clean slate every single day.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Those are amazing words. Great advice. Thank you very much for being with us. And if you want to continue the conversation, you have the information of Coach Jenn. Download it and go continue the conversation. Thank you very much for being here with us. That's been all for today in Mindset for Success. Until next time. Thank you.
Thanks for watching the Mindset for Success show. Join us every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. to learn how to master your mind and achieve success in every area of your life.